Hello YouTube's Eachine here. This video we're going to be doing something a little different, although it is something that is not new to my channel. What I'm going to be doing, I'm going to be showing you guys some puzzles, actually. Puzzles that I have yet to show on YouTube. Some of these puzzles may have shown up on videos. They might have just, just randomly been in a video or something. You never know. But, I would like to show them to you guys anyway in a video. Sort of explain to you how they work. A lot of these you're probably familiar with. But maybe you didn't. But you may or may not have known that I own them. They're not anything like super duper exciting. I mean, maybe one or two of them is, but just thought I'd make a video about it just because a lot of my puzzle fans have been kind of, I don't know what the word I'm looking for. They have been kind of left out or something. They're not getting as much interesting content as they'd like to. So anyway. I'm not going to show these really in any chronological order, although I might try to. First of all, I'd like to show you these. These are not exactly what you'd call puzzles. I was making these, and as you can see, these are simple this is a 1x1, I guess you could say blank. But this one here is mostly completed, as you can see there. And this is originally going to be for actually, I don't know. Well, they're originally going to be. I was making them originally for a Facebook giveaway type thing, only for like people who I know, like locally. I'm not interested in doing like giveaways, on YouTube, but these are something for like my Facebook people, like people who I actually know. All right. So I was going to do that mostly as an experiment to see who would actually like. Actually, I can't remember what it was for, but I do think it was somewhat experimental, just to see what would happen. But I decided to quit the project because if you look at this blue one here, it's got a little bit of a crack in the corner, which means I sanded too much plastic off of it. I think everything else is fine. And there is one side on here that I recently repolished with toothpaste right there. I said, before I use paper, you can go over again with toothpaste and really bring it to a shine. That's awesome. I think on the yellow one, I think I actually stopped on the yellow one because it was just getting too thin or something. Like, I felt like right there, it's kind of curved and stuff. I don't know. The red one I haven't started yet, but all of these are super glued together, except that one. I thought all of them were super glued together, but I guess they're not. But all these are super glued together. There is no way they're coming apart, and this one obviously is, but, yeah, anyway, here it is compared to a normal 1x1. I think I made this in tutorial form. This is the one I made out of all black Legos, so we need to worry about the paint rubbing off, so that's nice. Alright, next thing. This next thing is something you might have seen. I do actually think I mentioned it, and I might have already shown it in one other video, but I'm just going to show it here again because not everybody's probably watched that video. That would actually be my Rubiks 360. Yes, I do own a Rubiks 360. I've owned this for about like 2 years or so. Basically when they first came out, and actually, let's see if I can do this here. I've already got something in. Oh, crap, dropped it. I had a yellow one. It was already ready to go in a dome, but I just dropped it in there. But anyway. You've probably seen these before. If you're interested in getting something like this, Walmart. Check Walmart or Kmart. I'm amazed that they're still, in places like Walmart. They're not that expensive. They're like $10 or something. But you can see there's an outer sphere, there's a sort of middle sphere, and then there's an inner sphere. And in the inner sphere, there are some little plastic balls. And the goal is to get the plastic balls into their respective domes. And you might be able to see in there, you see that white ball right there? Or, well, you can see that blue one. It's right there. You want to get that blue ball into the blue dome. You want to get the red ball into the red dome and stuff like that. It's a fairly simple concept. Let's see if I can get at least a ball into a dome. Doesn't necessarily matter which color dome, just as long as it gets into a dome. It's kind of interesting. I wouldn't necessarily call it a puzzle, though, as much as I would I don't even know what you call it. I wouldn't categorize it as a puzzle, though. Because I think it's mostly luck-based. Oops, dropped it. So I don't really think you'd call this a puzzle. It's gravity powered. You might be able to see some counterweight. You see that little shiny ball bearing in there? That is the counterweight. You'll see that that's what lets it spin and such. It's very interesting. If you ever see one at Walmart, you can play with them while they're in the packaging. So I'd suggest you do that if you're interested in seeing how it works and such. So anyway, that is the Rubik's 360, and also it comes with a nice little stand, which I think looks really cool. So when it's on the stand, this is kind of what it looks like. Looks just like that. I think it looks pretty nice. So anyway, that is it for the Rubiks 360. Next up I'm going to show you, this I'm pretty sure I have not even shown, I'm certain I haven't shown this in a video. I think I tried making a video about it, but just didn't like the way it turned out. That'll be the Rubiks World. Yes, I do own a Rubiks World. I found this in a Barnes & Noble. This is the last Rubiks World I've ever seen in a store. It's also the first one I've ever seen in a store, so I'm glad I went ahead and jumped on it and got it. Because had I not, I probably would not own one at all to this day even. It's kind of an interesting puzzle. Basically, it's a world. You can see there's Africa, there is Asia or Europe, whatever you want to call it. There's Australia, North America, South America. Well, I think this is Europe and Asia combined, so I don't know. It's basically spherical 2x2. Sometimes it's a little bit picky. Let's see if we can get it to... Well, it'll turn over the hemisphere there. You can see it's a spherical 2x2, fully functional, most of the time at least. Sometimes it does lock up and it just doesn't want to turn around these at all. But it is a very nice puzzle. It did come with a nice stand that makes it look kind of like a globe. Unfortunately, I seem to have misplaced it, so I don't know where that is. I wish I did. Then I wouldn't need to worry about it rolling around all over the place. But anyway, that is the Rubiks World. Next up is something that you could say I made myself. I don't really think... I wouldn't necessarily say I made it myself, like I made it. I would say that I kind of... I don't know, I created it. How about that? I do think these actually exist. Like, you can buy these in a store, or like on an online store. I think Eachine.com probably sells these. But this is a mini Eachine 2x2. You're thinking, dude, how on earth did you make that? Again, I didn't make it. Well, actually, I got one year for Christmas, maybe like 2 or 3 years ago. Or actually, I think it was 2 years. Well, 2 or 3 years ago, one of those. I got what is called a quad cube, which is basically 4 of these things attached by the corner to form a nice long, cube. It's interesting. I unfortunately I think I had broken it after I got it. I think I'd broken it. So what I decided to do is see if I could salvage the pieces and make something out of them. And unfortunately, I only came up with one of these, but I think it's pretty cool. You might think differently. I think it's pretty neat, though. Unfortunately, it seems every single quad cube out there has a stiff cube at one end. And unfortunately, the only one I was able to make was the one out of a stiff cube. So this was very stiff when I was finished, and I just threw the tiniest amount of CRC silicone in there, and it is flopping all over the place. So this thing is mostly owned for novelty reasons. I do solve it occasionally. I do sometimes bring it to school because people find it to be fairly interesting. But it's mostly a novelty piece. So yeah, I do believe this is an Eachine brand quad cube, but it wasn't branded Eachine, but I'm certain this is Eachine because it has the same exact mechanism. It has that, and it looks red, but that is pink, trust me. But even if I compare that to the red, they look identical. But the bottom one is pink. You gotta trust me on that. So, but anyway, I didn't mean for this to get 2 parts, but I've only got one more thing left to show you, but so it shouldn't take too long. But anyway, I'll be back in part 2 of this. Back in part 2.